And with my friend Carrie Paraiso. We go back a few years, don't we?
Yeah.
Hanging out and doing music. And,
all over the
hanging out
county.
All over the county. In San Diego, this is Permission Ministries, a little vlog we're doing here, and we are highlighting ministries with Permission Ministries, Third Day Churches. This Permission Ministries is the website extension of Third Day Churches, and we like talking about Jesus with people who love Jesus and who do things with Jesus. So, my friend Carrie.
Here.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What are you drinking? The hard stuff?
Wine!
Believe nothing she says. Nothing.
No, it's water.
Oh, spirit of joy going on here. Carrie, I always like to just ask people a little bit, meeting Jesus, the love of our life. Just tell me about that. You know, what happened? Where were you at in life, and what took place?
I was a little girl. I was.
At one time, we were little people.
Yeah, and I was raised in church. My dad was going to be a pastor. He wasn't. Thank the Lord. He was a brilliant engineer. But I was raised in church, and I remember as a little tiny girl, I don't know, 7, and the teacher was doing a flannel graph of the crucifixion of Jesus, and I started crying.
Wow.
I'll never forget that.
The flannel little puppet things they do, or whatever that is?
Yeah. And I just started crying. I thought, that's Jesus, my Jesus. And then...
How old were you? 7?
Around 7.
Yeah.
And then I asked Jesus in my heart through that. But then when I became a Jesus freak, when I went to summer camp up at Ponderosa, and they were talking about...
This is where?
Up in Santa Cruz.
Okay.
The Ponderosa. And my counselor was talking about the soils. And I said, I want that soil. I want that good soil.
Okay.
And that's when the Lord really implanted a really strong seed.
Right.
And then it became...
Oh, so you made the connection with the soil, with the sower and the seed?
Yes.
Right.
And I said, Lord, I want that seed.
Right.
I want that. I want to be one of those seeds.
And what did that end up looking like for you in those years? When you made that decision, did things start happening for you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just became really passionate, young life, all the things I knew and that was available to do, mission trips,
Yeah.
that stuff.
Where'd you go on mission trips?
Oh, we went to Mexico. I was in Mexico for a summer, and then when I was still in high school, and then I went to India for a summer when I was in Simpson Bible College, and then...
So you're in your 20s, early 20s?
Yes.
Okay. And then you meet your husband, Jimmy?
Yeah, we met at Calvary Chapel at Mike McIntosh at North Park Theater, where
Same
Mike
place.
was. I knew him before he was married.
We go back.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, reconnected up at Oceanside.
That's right. At the vineyard. I pastored the vineyard up there.
Yeah.
Very good. How long were you at Calvary?
Oh, probably a couple years.
That was a fun church, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh.
Master Mike McIntosh.
Yes.
People getting saved all the time.
And
Thank you, Mike.
Yes,
for your
Mike.
ministry, buddy.
And then we went, Jimmy and I, we just happened, he was looking around for a job, and he found, anyway, we ended up in Tahoe with Albie
Right.
Pearson.
Okay.
And we were there 13 years and
Right.
working with the church on the lake.
I just did a little clip talking about being up here and talking about Albie's ministry. Because just how we love the body of Christ, the different expressions. And so you are part of Third Day Churches, and you've also been part of UMI with Albie. And I love the fact that there's synergy between the different ministries.
Yes, very similar too.
And yeah, Fathers in the Heart, really wanting to be releasers of people.
Yeah.
So you really started to blossom. When I knew you were always into the arts, how did that start to happen? 'Cause your ministry is called Planet Bubble. Love that name. And where'd that come from, by the way?
Oh, that came from my daughter, because she always felt like she was stuck in this bubble on some planet, and she kept trying to get out of the bubble, and all these bubbles of creativity were inside her, and she was frustrated, and she didn't have a place to let her stuff go. And Jimmy and I have always, in fact, someone prophesied over us, and they said, you set a stage. And we do.
You do.
We set a stage for people, like for theater, mainly theater, because when artists can't use their gift, they're not being themselves.
It kills something inside of them, doesn't it?
Yes.
I know after a while, if I don't get a chance to play music or lead worship, something in me just it gets dead. It has to be brought to life again.
And you get frustrated.
Yeah, it's part of who we are.
Yes.
So how did you get into the arts, and how did that develop for you?
Well, I was in high school doing the arts, and when I went to college, I did some theater, and I was always writing scripts for different things.
Yeah.
And then I went to what really blossomed was when I went to the Messianic Synagogue, and everything was so fresh and alive because it's like all the festivals and all the stuff like that.
Yes.
It's like, wow, I should have been taught all that. But anyway, so I wrote a play on that, and we did like a 60 cast production and crew, all that. And then we did another one that I wrote, Yeshua HaMashiach. That was the first one, and the second one was up at Vista.
Right.
Yeah, and that was people from all over San Diego County, and that was really cool because people from all the different churches were coming together.
Yes, yeah.
That was neat.
It's interesting. I think I love our evangelical heritage and the things we've learned, but we don't do the arts well. I think when we broke away from the Roman Catholic Church,
Yeah.
we were just kind of like, it's all about the word and all about the mind, and artistry got left behind a little bit.
I know.
And so going to the Messianic
smashed.
Church for you kind of brought some of that back to life because it's a
Yeah.
very expressive
Yes.
religion, and they embrace festivals and expressions.
Yeah.
So is that where?
Well, look at Jews. Look what they do.
Yeah.
They think outside the box. They own Hollywood.
Yeah, you're right. They're very creative.
Very.
So was the birth for Planet Bubble for you?
No, Planet Bubble started like in 2003, and all my kids are saying, "Mom, you got to get this going." And so we got a 501c3 back in 2003.
Okay.
And we were looking for a coffee shop and all that kind of stuff. And eventually the Lord said, "No, the world's your stage. It's not just a little tiny coffee shop."
Right.
So
instead of
it's
drawing
kinda
people
morphed.
to, going out to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a couple of things you've done in the past and what God did, some of the stories on that. Because you've done plays, you've done things, outreaches and stuff.
Oh, it was really neat because we were going to the Rock Church. We had a ministry called...
Is that with Miles McPherson, Rock Church?
Yeah. And it was called, I can't remember the name now. Can't remember. But anyway, we would go out on the streets of San Diego, and one time on Easter, we got a guy, he looked just like Jesus, and we got this big old cross, and we put a diaper on him and blood all over his back, and it was so cool because we had to march through, it was Easter vacation, right, Easter time, and we had to walk through the streets with a cross, and then we set up different actors throughout downtown, and we had this one businessman that started yelling, "Hey, I'm good enough! Hey, why can't I go to heaven?" And then we had a woman of the streets also show up, and just had the dialogue going
So it was
along.
a moving play through the streets.
Yeah.
Wow, that's creative.
It was so funny too because that was like Easter and there's a lot of people on vacation, so all these German girls came up to Jesus. They came up to Jesus and a picture, and they were all around Jesus and they're so
in his diaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. What kind of responses did you get from other people? I mean, just going down the street, obviously people started catching on and watching this. And
Yeah, they would back up and they would just be watching.
Yeah.
And then he would stop and preach too.
Yeah.
And it was really,
That's creative.
that was
I love
one
that.
of the things we did. And then also Catherine Coleman, she used to point her finger up at the sky and just stand there and point it. And all these people would gather around her. And she would start preaching. And so we took some signs down there and we just looked at the sky and we had signs or something, and it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was funny.
I love it. I love the creativity.
Yeah.
So part of your passion for Planet Bubble is to help release people.
Oh.
Talk about that a little bit. Why that's a passion for you?
Oh my gosh. Make me cry. Because Jimmy and I really believe that people need to be authentic. They need to be themselves. And they need to fight for all the lies that have been told them. And the things that are put on them, and not to be what society tells them they have to function and to be and to do. And no, we have to do who we are. And got to live outside the box, and that's a struggle sometimes to find that. And we have to know who we are and why we're here, because the Lord has a huge play going on since the beginning of time, and all of us, and it's so mind-boggling to think that He has He's put a set for us, a stage, a set, everything. He's put the right people there, He's put the right timing, the right place, right country. everything, so we can fulfill our destiny. And we think all our gifts and callings are for us, but no. He put those gifts in us as part of his play.
And that's been the heart of Permission Ministries, giving people permission
Yeah.
to be who they are, because there's no one like you, right?
Right.
And what's God look like inside of you?
Yes.
What's he going to express himself through you? Because your personality, your gifts, your style, who you are, it's needed in the body, because
Yes.
someone's going to relate to it. Some people relate to that play going down the street. They will never walk into a church, but they'll
Right.
hear and see the gospel.
Right.
Love it, love it.
And another thing too, when people don't do their giftings and passions, they're not an alive person.
Right.
They're not themselves. It's fake.
Yep.
And so one thing I shared last night was that you go through life, and if you do not explore and do not do your passion and do the gifts God's given you, it's like all those giftings, skill sets, ideas, everything, they die with you. And we are the only one that carries those.
That's awesome.
They're gone.
Yep.
They're gone.
Yeah, it's a waste.
Waste.
Well, it's like the talents. What are you going to do with those talents God gives you?
Exactly.
You can invest them, or you can just bury it in the ground and forget about it.
Right.
And live a life that's not fulfilling.
And that's called a wicked servant.
We don't want to do that.
No.
No. You're touching on something I think is really important. Your kids encourage you, Mom, it's time to do this.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, they get to that point where I'd really like to try this. I'd really like to take that lesson. I'd like to take that course, or my heart's passion, but they
Yeah.
never get there.
Yeah.
So what got you over the edge to start doing it? What was the thing holding you back?
Nothing. No,
Well, well said.
I've always done, I don't know, I think it's a gift of the Lord, because I don't have much fear, and so
Yeah.
like I act like an idiot sometimes because I don't know, I just go for it.
Right. So you just be you,
Yes.
but then you decided to make a ministry out of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that point is what I'm saying.
Oh,
is
I'm sorry.
When you decided, you're always you, but you decide I need to help others do this. Right.
Huh.
Was that a challenge for you? Or just felt the
No.
time was right.
It just was natural.
Right. Well, I love the name Planet Bubble. Tell you what, if you'd like to be a part of what this lady does, or have some questions, or just hear more of her testimony, she's got a website, right?
Yeah, we've got
Called?
a website,
Called?
planetbubble.org.
Right. And anything else you want to say about planetbubble.org to get people who want to connect with it, or if
Well, right now we're in Arkansas. So
Okay.
we're more connecting with Burn 24/7 with Sean Foyt, and that's what God has opened up so far. But as far as theater, I don't know. But I do know that we have a call to Israel.
oh well.
And so I feel like there's going to be theater in Israel for us. And I don't know what that looks like.
Right.
I just see it.
But you're going to find out.
Yes.
Carrie Paraiso.
No!
Carrie Paraiso.
Paraiso!
Carrie Paraiso. Lovely lady. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Mike.
Blessings.
Creative.
That was awesome. You had a good interview. That was fun.
Good. It was fun, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't turn it on.
You did not! What?